Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully, yes, looks like I have volume. So if you don't, check it. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Angel. Oh, Halo Inspirations. Got a small but nice haul from her for Mother's Day. Not sponsored, not affiliate. Good morning, Deborah. Deborah has been sewing up a storm. Melissa's been taking care of baby puppy. A baby puppy, is that redundant? Hi and welcome. If you're new to my channel, I have on subscriber only mode, and that is just to keep the chat safe, not to try to force you to subscribe to be able to chat. Although you have to subscribe for this week, I've changed it, I think, to like 2 hours. So subscribe this week, you can chat next week. You know, you've been around a while, you understand how this works. But it keeps the chat safe from the, I forget the word already, not enough coffee yet today. So all I can think of is troublemaker. So that's what we'll go with. I have already been working this morning, starting to glisten. It's warm out there. Thank you, Melissa, for the links. And that's what I was going to say. The people in blue with the little wrenches next to their names, they are my moderators. I trust them to make snap decisions if I'm not able to see the chat right then, or they can text me if they think it's questionable, if something is said that they think that I would find inappropriate. And I try to follow YouTube rules, so that would mean probably inappropriate on YouTube by YouTube standard. Oh, good morning, Dee Dee at My Big Tidy Up. The wrenches also mean they can share links, and only moderators can share links in my chat. Pardon me, I'm telling you, it's hot in here. I had to turn the fan around because it was set for winter. And when I did that, well, then it had to be cleaned because I don't clean my fan blades except for when I change them for winter and summer. If you do, you're my hero. Good morning, Fern. It sure is good to see everybody, and good morning to all you lurkers and replay watchers. I forget to mention replays. It'll be all right. Melissa says, I hate cleaning ceiling fans. Well, I couldn't exactly clean it. I just reached as high as I could and got the side that had the most dust on it wiped off so I could stop it and turn it around the other way. Otherwise, I have to get a chair. And I took out the trash this morning. But we all survived the tornadoes, it looks like. Ms. Dee Dee up north of me. The last tornado, my parents were extremely blessed. Extremely blessed. They had damage. They had power out for 24 hours. A lot of places around them had it 4 days. They didn't have it. Even some of them didn't have power for a week. And then they went out in their backyard. They have a large backyard being in the city. And they have a fence around it. The fence wasn't touched by any limbs, and they have trees. There's trees everywhere. The yard didn't have any limbs down in it. But the alley in back of their house, from one end of the block to the other, trees down all over it. Did not touch their house. How's that for a miracle? If you don't believe in miracles, if you don't believe in prayer, well, I do, and we can be friends still. Melissa says, but I bet Dee Dee has some amazing hacks to clean them. Now, is the pillowcase that Dee Dee uses? You'd think I can remember these things since I watch so often. I can remember last week, barely. Let's see. Deborah says, storming there. Praying for y'all and praying for everybody that went through those storms. We had tornadoes, Oklahoma and Kansas, and then they hit Arkansas. And I think when we got the all clear, I finally went to bed. This block was done after the tornadoes stopped being around here because I lost track of time yesterday. I do that a lot, don't I? I always have an excuse. Fern said we had the storms early this morning. Oh, goodness. I see everybody's power is on. And Dee Dee says we had storms last night, but eyes blurred. We had storms last night bad, but I don't think we have any damage, just a few branches in the yard. And yes, I used the pillowcase, but I know a lot of people do too. Melissa says I have a brush that wraps around the blades, specialty tool. It's great, except that everything lands on the floor. That's what happened to me this morning. Oh, and I cleaned my other fan too. I got a floor fan. Cleaned it too because they stop blowing when they're full of dust. I didn't clean it well, but I cleaned it just like the ceiling fan. It's early when you get up at 4 o'clock. It's too early to work, although that's my time to work. Pardon me, I drink my coffee. Alrighty. Let's do the haul first. There's links up above to this small haul. I have been wanting, and I haven't tried them out yet. I know it's not like me to not try things as soon as I get them, but I need to scroll to see what they were. Please don't click off the screen, woman. I'm talking to myself. I have done that. See if it'll let me scroll up that high because I can't remember the exact names of them. This is the seam guide tool. And the idea of the seam guide tool, I could actually use it today since I didn't mark my lines. The idea of the seam guide tool is to line up your corner down here on the, I don't know if you can see, this actually comes to a tip on one side and line the corner up on the other side, and you draw your lines on either side so you can sew the 1/4 inch away. Well, what I need to do is mark that center line today because I'm going to sew right down the center line. But I thought this would be really handy. I like having lines to sew on. I really do. Oh, and I need to scroll back down. Let's see. What's other things called? I think they've got them on the package. That one I must have taken out of the package. Scroll down. Pardon me. All right. Yeah, I have to climb a ladder. The ceiling fans will be dirty. 12-foot ceilings. Dee Dee has high ceilings, doesn't Dee Dee have high ceilings? I can reach mine on my tiptoes. Not the ceiling itself, but the ceiling fan. I can reach it on my tiptoes, which is not good for me. What was I going to say? I saw Sherry. I saw Sherry. Good morning, Sherry. And good morning, Joe. Giovanna. Good morning, good morning. So I got and it does have it. It's like, it feels like grippy. It feels like a grippy tape, but it's not tape. I'm sure. I don't know what it is, but it's like a grippy on back of it. And I like to sew on lines. And I am a sucker when it comes to the people I watch. Influencers, I am your target audience. I am influenced. I don't know if I can get all these out. Yeah. This is non-slip Crazier 8 free pattern inside rulers from Creative Grids. And I got these all over at Halo. And if she runs out, there should be a thing up there that says, email me when it comes back into stock, and you'll get an email when they come back into stock. But she had them this morning. Well, I checked 1 or 2 this morning. And this is a 1, 2, 3, 4-piece set. And you can, might as well open it. Morning, morning, morning. Saw that pattern on Amazon. says she has the Crazier 8 templates. Love it. My quilt turned out beautifully. I think we saw that over on Halo's Cherub Share on her channel. Halo Angel, who is Halo Inspirations, has a channel here on YouTube and has a store. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 pieces that go to it. And she's done a demonstration on these. So I may or may not get around to it. But these are perfect for scraps. Now, see, when I think scraps, I think really small, which are crumbs, I guess. But most people's, this would be scrap size. You can cut them out, have a very scrappy, and then do decorative stitches after you sew them back together. Do decorative pretty stitches. That's what I want to do, and I want to get heavier thread to do it with. So they show up really well, like the blanket stitch. I was trying to say saddle. The blanket stitch looks really nice on just everything, I think. And then that's a stack and whack prop. That's a stack and whack pattern. Love those. I thought that's what it was like. Thank you, Sherry. She says, can't wait to see what you come up with. $38.99 on Amazon. What's on Amazon? Now, I'll tell you something about Creative Grids. It's really cute Lyric quilts done via stack and whack. Cool. The Creative Grids, if you've ever been to their website, and I'm not telling any, industry secret, because I found this out on their website, so, anybody can figure it out. Sellers who sell Creative Grids are not allowed to put them, I think they have a suggested price. Sellers are not allowed to put them on sale or sell them less than that price, or they can get in trouble, and I fear that means they can't sell them and stuff like that. So the reason you don't see Creative Grids on sale, and the reason I don't buy them, quite honestly, is that they don't put them on sale. But I did get these for Mother's Day because I thought these 3 I would use often. And that's my standard for spending that much money on something like this. It has to be something I think I would use often. I've got a few things that I thought I would use often, and I still have yet to use, but this is the, I guess I need the name of it, non-slip ultimate flying geese tool. I think you can see the frosted. That's the word I was looking for. The frosted texture back here on these lines is what has the grippy on them. And they have some little dots up here that have the frosted grippy. And I think I do like that better than the little stickies I put on mine, but I probably will not buy a whole bunch of Creative Grids. Like I said, Mother's Day. And it has, on the Creative Grids Flying Geese, it has how to make them over here in the corner. Now, Halo hasn't done, let's see if I can get that. I know I should have been better prepared. Halo hasn't done a video about this one yet, but I'm sure she'll play with it and do a video. But the idea, basic idea, and how I give information, so you might want to Google it. The basic idea is you do 4 at a time, and then you scoot it to this side. Oh, that's trim 2. It says trim 1 up here in the corner and trim 2. So you scoot your flying geese up here, find the letters that correspond with these letters over here for the amount that you did, line them up with this and that letter going both ways. This will be on your seam, and you trim it. And then you just scoot it up and do the same thing, or I guess you can flip them both over. You scoot it up and you do the same thing down here. You find the letter that corresponds with that and you trim it there. That's a very dumbed down explanation. Oh. Everyone uses the crumb term. Okay. Dee says, is crumbs a technical term that all seamstress use, or is that just a term Colleen? That is not one of my made up terms or words. Fern answered her and she says, thank you, Fern. I just didn't want to join in on another live and use it and look ridiculous. I know, right? And you really got to worry about things like that when you get any kind of information from me. And Melissa's right. She says, Dee Dee, you won't look ridiculous. Even if you use all the terms wrong, we loves you here. Absolutely. And I can't speak for everybody because I don't watch a lot of lives, but I know quilters' lives generally are very kind when you're wrong or you misuse a word. Fern and I learned stack and whack before they made rulers for it, Melissa said. And then Halo said, crumb quilt and crazy quilts are the same technique. However, crazy quilts have the embellishments and such, where the crumbs do not. Ah, okay. That is a good explanation, Melissa said it's a good explanation. Angel, thank you. And Dee Dee says, thank you, friends. I'm learning a lot. And one day we'll get her to sew. I have dreams. But Dee Dee does all things tidying, cleaning, simple DIY. If it involves electric tool, probably not. But I'm pretty sure I've seen her use an electric screwdriver, not the drill side. Haven't I? Maybe. I might be making things up. Go check her out and see if I'm lying to you. Anyway, those are my Mother's Day. Is my Mother's Day haul. And I'm very happy with it. Let me use this today. Let's leave it out. And excited to get to using them. But I went down, oh my gosh, a rabbit hole. Let me put these away. Heaven knows I've got enough stuff put out everywhere. See my rainbow? See my rainbow? I caught a rainbow. Okay, just have to tell you. Just a second. Let me get a drink. And by the way, you got this because you need to be reminded, Anne, to be the light. Oh, the Victorian version of the crazy quilts, Melissa says. So many interesting things stitched into them. Dee Dee says, I'm not a seamstress, but I did give birth to my daughter, as she sews. So surely that counts for something. Yes, I think you are, you're a seamstress once removed. I made that up, just so you're clear. This weekend I went down a rabbit hole. I'm going to talk a little bit, and then this is going to be very fast. My daughter-in-law, I got I have it close, I'll grab it. Give me a second. Pardon me. That was very, by the way, these work. Very small silicone mats. If you do little applique, those work great. I gave them a really good test over the weekend. But I sent her this picture, and I told her that this would make a great diaper bag. I'd like to make it for her, and she likes cow prints. So I said, in cow print. As she loved it. And then I was talking to my son, and I asked him, I said, well, I asked her what was it I asked him, and he said, plaid. What was it I asked him? I don't know. Anyway, his answer, not plaid, checkered. That was his answer to something I had asked, and I was like, I was like, is she a silver girl or a gold girl? I'm kind of the antique bronze for the metals on purses, and I don't make purses. I've made one bag. I designed it myself. I sewed it up myself. It was a train wreck, but worked. So way out of my comfort zone, and I'm watching everything purse making right now. But I was like, is she metal? For metal, is she gold or silver? And he said, she's really into checks right now. Black or pink. And leopard print. So then I texted daughter-in-law. And I was like, so my son tells me when I ask if you're a silver or gold girl, checks, plaid. I was like, I want to be sure about this though, because she said she does like checks. I was like, so do you like checks or do you like plaids? Because they're not the same thing. And I don't always remember that. I don't know why. And she's like, the checks. And I was like, okay, I got this. And then I made a trip into town, into the city. I should not do this ever. I started looking up what you need to sew, and I don't know if this machine can sew faux leather, but I'm certainly going to try. I got some cow print. I got some black faux leather. I got some brown faux leather. And I got some checked fabric and cow fabric. And I know that's next to me. This guy. Some leopard print. And this is, I don't know what it's called, but it's like for diaper bag linings, changing mat liners. I'm going to try to sew with. That's not going to be the inside of the bag. And hopefully this works too. This works on all that. I don't know. I've never used it. So I'll have to find out. Some water. Pardon me again. Hydrate, people. It's a warm day today. Especially if you're my age in your own summer. What does my cup say? My cup says, you got this. Why did I should know, huh? This thing's supposed to once remove. Great term. I see this. What is this spray can? Oh, this, because I know it goes blurry. It's my internet. We're working on improving that. With costs going up of everything, I don't know that that's going to happen anytime soon. This is Scotch Guard. Fabric water shield, long-lasting protection, waterproof fabric. Now, I've seen Brandy overhead proof quilter. I've seen her use it on yard flags. She's made from fabric, just regular old cotton. And she'll spray them with this. I saw her do that, I think it was 2 years ago. And if you want my attention, as Melissa did, exclamation, C-O-L-E-E-N, we'll get it. No, it doesn't matter if you use caps, no spaces in there. That has nothing to do with the nose. Let me scroll up so I can see what happened in the chat. Just a second, I'll get back to that, Melissa. I saw something pop up, and I do have a little bit of a delay. So when you see the questions, it may take me a second or two before I see it or the answers. Halo says, oh yes, Melissa, been down some seriously deep rabbit holes on the Library of Congress when studying crazy quilts. Oh, they have a quilt. I think I saw it at the Library of Congress. I can't remember what it's called right now, but I want to recreate it. I think that's where I saw it. And yes, for instance, I love crazy quilts. Some tell a story of the sewer. Melissa likes my charm. Seamstress once removed. Angel, you must do things the same way I do. Rabbit holes seem to find me all the time, Deborah says. Yep. Let's get out. Okay, does the Scotch Guard put off gas, anything that might be toxic for the baby? That's something I have to look up. I had wondered about that too. I was thinking, I really don't want to put it on the inside of the bag. It's a chemical, and I think the outside of the bag is fine. I don't want to put it on the inside of the bag. So I'm going to have to do some looking up about that because it's a chemical, right? Fern says, my mom used that on the coat she made me when I was little. I know people buy it, use it on furniture all the time. Pardon me, I'm going to make sure that's not my husband. There's somebody acting up that I missed. Nope, nothing important. Okay, sorry. My husband has a job where he could get hurt. Yesterday, you can use pull fabric. I think that's what that white stuff is. But they do have canvas, waterproof canvas, and what is that called that I just looked up? Ripstop. It's fairly inexpensive. I wanted a prettier liner though. So I could probably figure that out. But first I have to figure bags out. First I'm going to have to figure bags out. I've got the stuff to make it. I just need, she sent me a picture. My son told me that she found a bag she fell in love with. And so I was like, well, send me a picture. We'll see if I can recreate it because, you know, I'm ambitious and slightly delusional. And she sent me, it's a beautiful bag. In fact, it was all leather, cowhide, and it was on Etsy. I think it's Boulder something, conceal backpack. It scared me. Once I started looking at it and dissecting it, I was like, okay, I could do this. I could do this. And then I talked to Tracy, which is a moderator for me over here, Tracy Albert. She is the resident bag lady. She tells me that's not a bad term. So I talked to her and I just picked her brain real good about things. And I found out after I ordered this thread is Tex 70, which I'm thinking is, I can't remember if it was 12 or 8 weight, or not 12 or 8, 12 or 28 weight. She said a domestic machine probably won't like this. So I got it to try. Don't think I'm going to try it. She said go with the Tex 45 to 35. I don't know what the weight conversion is. I had to look this up. I looked that up when I was looking thread up a couple weeks ago. So yay, I knew that much. But this is a heavier thread and probably more for industrial machines. Angel, is there a secret to getting that fusible to stay? There is fusible vinyl for insides of there's fusible vinyl for insides of bags? Why have I not seen that? YouTube bag makers need to do better. I have not heard about that. Tracy may have told me and I was taking so much information and I missed it. But and Melissa says, is there a secret to getting the fusible to stay? I used on a bag and it separated after a bit. Yeah, that bag, I see my name. She says, I'll get to that just a second, Melissa. Where was I? The bag on Etsy was $175. But I was like, I can't do leather. I know my machines can't do leather. They might be able to do the faux leather. This might be thin enough that I can do faux leather. We'll see. I'll try it, and if it doesn't work, I'll just interface the heck out of some cotton fabric and make it like that. But it has brown leather. It has a little bit of piping on it, several zippers, and I've done a whole one zipper. But anyway, so that's the rabbit hole I've been in for a while, and I'm going to be in for a while. So I'm not doing a whole lot of other stuff because I want to do it just right. I want to try to get it as close to that as I can. And Tracy showed me it's a convertible strap. It can be worn as a crossbody or a backpack. And I showed it to her, to my daughter-in-law, and I was like, what do you think of this? One of my bag maker friends showed me this. And she's like, I love it. And I was like, okay, there's something else I'm going to have to learn to do. So I got that pattern. And I was thinking, this one, I'm going to make anyway. And I just thought of something that I ordered at Fat Quarter Shop over the weekend. And I have to figure out how to do this. Now. We've got 9 months. No, we don't. Not the way I work. Halo says, should ask her bag expert. She uses it a lot. I haven't used it yet. Could be a brand answer. Oh, what type of brand she was using came off. And Melissa says, oh, thank you, Angel. I still have a couple of yards of it. I really wanted to make an NCW with that on the outside of the fabric. I got some heat Actually, I did. That's probably what you're talking about. Because that's what I ordered this weekend from Fat Quarter Shop. Oh, heat vinyl. The words, people. The words are all going together right now. It's. I don't think they call it fusible vinyl, but it is. It is. That's what that is. And no, none of the bag makers I was watching said anything about that. I saw it and thought, what the heck? I'm trying all this. I might as well try that. I know, right? Melissa says, words be tough some days. Drink more coffee. Amen. Let's do that. And see, I'm wanting to make the necessary clutch wallet NCW. That's a paid pattern, right? I want to make that too, to go, I want to make a set for the daughter-in-law, because you don't want, this is my thinking. I actually didn't ask, but this is my thinking. They have a toddler. So you want something that's going to be more than just baby. You know, when they start growing and they get out of the baby bottles and stuff like that, you still need a bag to take to the nursery, to the daycare, whatever. I'm thinking this would be a great before and after bag. So if I get it done before the baby, she can use it before the baby for the toddler, because you know, toddlers need stuff too. They need changes of clothes, they need wet wipes, they need cups, they need snacks. If you haven't had kids, now you know. Still have a couple yards, Melissa said. Oh, I read that. It's on Amazon. Sherry says Teflon foot makes using vinyl a lot easier. What feet do I have in here? I'll have to check to see what feet I have, but I need to get I would like to get a Teflon foot. Is not absolutely necessary for it. I've seen people do it tissue paper. I've seen people do it. But yes. All the people say the Teflon foot makes it easier. So I would like to get one of those. And I would also like to get the narrow zipper guide for this machine. It will let me get closer to the zippers. And I'm going to show you this. This is so cute. I'm telling you, this is going to take like 5 minutes. I printed out. These do not click off. Diaper bags should be washable. Let me see what the name of this thing is. This was a free pattern, and it is below, along with a link to this. Not sponsored, not, you know, just if you want to check it out. Mom and Pop did this on their channel. That's where I got the idea from. But there is a beginner bag from Bag Stock Designs called Sunshine Crossbody Pouch. And I don't know if Mom and Pop have done that. She has done lots of bags. I need to go back and watch all of her stuff now. I wanted information short and sweet. Now I want the details and the company while I do it. So Laura Lynn over at Mom and Pop Quilt Shop here on YouTube. They've done lots of them. But let's see, what is this? This is for that crossbody bag. Isn't that adorable? Now, it called for 3 sizes of zippers. So I'm learning, but the top stitch, when you top stitch this, I read that narrow zipper foot really helps. And that pattern is everywhere. But I told my son, I was like, oh, I can make daughter-in-law one, and then I can make baby girl one. With those duffels, or at least, you know, maybe even just a little bag like this. And not with zippers. She's only 3, and I was thinking this as I put this together. I'm gonna have to make one with snaps, or, you know, I don't know if a 3-year-old can do zippers. I don't remember. I'm a horrible grandma too. Horrible grandma, horrible YouTuber. Can't win some days. Okay. Melissa says she thinks the NCW is a paid pattern. I thought so too. There is a slicker iron vinyl. Iron-on vinyl. That's what's called, iron-on vinyl. The one that I saw is clear. The only one I saw is clear. Do they have one that's not clear? but it makes sense to use clear. And I'd forgotten that I had ordered that over the weekend to try. So if that works, that will go on the inside of the bag. Thank you for reminding me. I've got so much information going in here, and it's just, there's a hamster running around with it. Maybe two in there playing volleyball or something with it when it goes in. It's hard to get the information back out. Melissa says, I think the diaper bags should be washable. That's my only objection to vinyl or leather. True. Now the faux leather stuff, it says it's washable. It may not be put in the laundry washable. And something else I was thinking, which may be just completely crazy because I don't know yet, and I didn't ask Tracy or anyone else for that matter. It's just a thought I had. Could I do a liner that can be taken out? Like a liner that's zipped in and can be unzipped. That may be way above my skill level. But that was a thought I had on trying to make it more washable. Because it does, you need to be able to wash it. Yes, only in clear. Angel says, I had a professional tote. I think I saw that. There's a swoon-free pattern. I think it's called the Mary Jane. It's a kid-sized bag that works up fast. I think I saw that one too. I've been to so many sites, y'all. But I'm not the bag lady. I'm not the bag maker, but I am trying. And I thought, you know, some of the ladies that come in here are. Vern says, way back, my diaper bag was blue jean bag. Those were very popular. I bought mine at Walmart. All of them. But I thought that would be a really nice gift for her because I don't know if they can afford $200 for a duffel bag. I don't know if they'd like the smell of it if they got it. I mean, cowhide gets wet. I don't know. I don't know. I've never had any. Oh. Okay. So when you get the cuts, just know that they were done late last night in between tornado warning or watches. We didn't ever get a warning all the way around us. And so it was very quickly, here's where the paper is, put together. But I did do the 8-inch ones. I started the 8-inch ones so I would know how to work up. And this is meant to be squared down, unlike the one I did last week that was the wrong size. And I still haven't fixed. Oh no. Let me get a good morning, Deb. Let me get another, whoops. Okay, I don't see spinning. I think it is just you. Woo. I don't like it when it does that. I looked into the light and now my eyes are upset. Oh, let's see, where are we? Deb S, the Peg Mama Quilter. Good morning, Colleen. Good morning, Peg. Peg. Put all the words together. Good morning, Deb. Okay, we're just saying good morning to Deb. My mind just goes sometimes. All right, I think we could start this. Oh, let's grab another one before I forget to do that. I'm telling you, I'm going to be off here in an hour. I know I wound it up quick last week. They were saying bye to our new friend Colleen that was in chat, and I thought they were saying bye to me because I told them we're going to stop at an hour, my moderators, and I thought, oh, this is their way of letting me know it's been an hour. That is so smart. Thank you. No, so I pull random cards or random blocks from a book, and right now I'm working from the Quilt Builder card deck. There is a link below. Good morning, Sylvia. Words. Oh, Melissa needs to walk the puppy. Yeah. We'll do okay. We don't want any puppy accidents. So I got this one from Angel Halo Inspirations, but they don't have it, so they do have it at Amazon. There is a link below. I do have affiliate links at this time. I doubt that I'll get them for very long though. So let's take one of these. Which one do we got? No. I don't want to do this one. Okay. I mean, it's not hard. It's just that I'm doing 8-inch blocks and they're never kind to work with an 8-inch block. So I would have to make I'm taking a 6/8-inch block with 1 inch around it. So kind of like we did this one. But anyway, this one is called the Combination Star. It's very pretty. I like it. That will be next week's block. And I'm doing them in size 8 and 16 because that's what y'all chose over on the community page. So I get to have the fun of making something that's made to do by 3s, like this particular one. You could do it in 3, 6, 9. Dropping things. But no, I'm gonna do it in 8. And then I'm gonna add border so it'll fit in. There's a quilt back there underneath all that stuff that this goes in, I promise. But not that bad, really not. For Melissa, my youngest, was allergic to diapers and diaper wipes. Oh no. And that's something else I was thinking, a zip wet bag for inside the diaper that can be pulled out, or magnetic. So keep that up. I'm just gonna throw them on the floor. I ain't playing fan. Pardon me. It was knocking papers. It was distracting me. Oops, you're not supposed to see that side. I make these without the instructions and without the things on the back that are very hard for me to see anyway, so I really don't care. Usually I make it different than they do, I think. And there's actually an easier way to make this block, but since I needed it a certain size, this is the way I made it. It is just HSTs, 2, 4, 6 HSTs. So you can make 4 at a time and then 2 at a time. Put in your corners and your center square. And if I had spent my time more wisely over the last week, instead of getting in that diaper bag rabbit hole that I was in, I would have fussy cutted or did square in a square with FPP in these blank spots, because I hate to see a blank spot. It needs something there. Thank you for the links, Sylvia. Everybody's links are over here in my chat. Feel free to click on them, visit their channels, give them subscribe love, give them a nice comment, give them a thumbs up, because YouTube likes all that stuff. And we like to support our friends, even those who really don't know that we're their friends. Oh, she is dozing this morning. I've had that problem the last week. Every time I lay on the couch to give my back a rest, I start falling asleep. So this is this week's block, and the cuts, which is one of the things that I just threw on the floor on that Google Doc. And what it is this is I wrote on one of them. Let's see. I may have to go find my Google Doc. Probably easier to pick this up out of the floor. Pardon me. It ain't pretty when I have to pick things up out of the floor, but it is what it is. Okay. The corners are 3.5 inch squares. The 2 plain corners. Let's show it this way. 3.5 inch squares. The center is a 3-inch square. And these 4, the white part, or the off-white stars that I'm using, is 3.5 by 3 inches. And then we're going to snowball a 3-inch square in one of those corners. And you need to look, because these two are longer this way. These two are longer this way because we're going to keep those corners and we're going to square this block down. So I decided instead of HSTs just to do a snowball corner, which I usually don't do, but like I said, I was in a hurry, so when in Rome. So all of these are just snowball corners today. Unusual for me, but that's what we're going with. And these corners are, the light is a 3.5-inch square, and I'm using blue. I was going to use red, and I changed that last second. The blue that I'm using, the colored one, is a 3-inch square. Again, we're going to snowball that. And look at the diagram. I didn't look like a 1/4 inch. Let's see. You want to match the picture that I showed. And I've already done these two sides because it just turns into a 9-patch. Which I'm not doing exactly like a 9-patch because I want to get some of the sewn for the live. So you're going to take, it says in the Google Doc, you're going to take your 3-inch and put it over your, one of your, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is confusing. That's why there's pictures. I need pictures. 3.5 by 3-inch. Let's see. I'm doing the left center block, so I have extra fabric over here. You're supposed to. I'm going to draw a line from this corner to this corner, and I'm going to tilt you, so close your eyes if you get vertigo. We do it old school, which means I'm going to touch the camera and it's going to make a weird noise. Hey, cut off my head. And you can see the junk that I haven't put away. So I got these at Amazon because I wanted all the colors. A friction pen. And this fancy seam roller. All right. You want to be sure to go the direction that's indicated, which for this one, I'm going to go from the upper right to lower left. And I just want a line from corner to corner. And I'm not using the center of this ruler to do that because there is a gap in there and I don't like that. I can see where it's useful. I don't like that. So I just drew a line. Let's see if we can get that closer. I thought I used a good color for that. Okay, just draw a line. And then the one above it, I've got the 3.5-inch square with my 3-inch square on top of it. I've got it in the bottom right corner. So I'm going to draw another line from corner to corner because this one needs to go to the right. So I'll place it down as it laid so I don't flip it over because last night I did all kinds of flips. I had to turn these 3 or 4 times. I knew I had all the cuts right. I just didn't have my directions right. And if you're new, you can check out my community page. I put sales. If I find a good sale, I'll put sales there. I put pictures of whatever I might be working on, things like that over there. Okay, now we've got another line. Remember, this is the upper left, so we're going from right to left. And when we cut off, we're going to cut off the piece away from that extra fabric. So this over here, after we sew it. And my stitch length, I'm just going to use a 1.6 because that's what I use for FPP. I have my 1/4 inch foot on. I could use any foot I want because I'm just following that line, or just practice going just to the right of that line. Just to the right. You don't have to thread, whatever. You see the line? Line up your needle right next to it and try to go down it. I've been trying to do that. That makes them open better when I succeed. Sometimes I forget halfway through it. I go back to sewing on the line. Like for this, I'm watching my feet right here, because I can tell that line is more this way than that way. Whoops, let's change that. And hopefully I can put that down. I go on the line. Let's see how well this works. So this one will be 3.5 by 3 inches when we finish, and this one up here will be 3 inches when we finish sewing them, not in the block. In the block, you're going to take off the seam allowance, and I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch away. You could sew the other side. This is why I don't like doing the sew and flips, but it is what I did today. So now I have more scraps for my scraps. These were actually 10-inch squares from a layer cake that I started with. 1/4 inch away. All the extra fabric should be under the ruler or whatever you're using. And you can use your scissors to cut that with. I've been doing that. My seams look very wonky, but we're, not that concerned. Cutting straight is an option if the seam allowance is going to hide it, in my opinion. So now I have more scraps, which I'm normally I would have done a template for this. I figured that out that way. That way I wouldn't have to have more scraps, but it is what it is. This is how I did it. Iron on. It is so good to see everybody this morning. I wish my brain would settle down for me for a little while. So when I'm done here, I've got a playlist. It's actually a public playlist, so y'all can see it. For bags. It's mostly Mom and Pop's quilt shop, because I know I watch them, but I don't take in the information, and I'm pressing to the darker side. I don't retain the information until I need it. That's just how my brain has been working the last few years. Let's see. 3.5 by 3. Yep, that one is good. Yay! And I know I took this one. It may not look like I'm putting them back where I found them. I know I took this one from up here because I ran out of fabric. So I added a piece that I had. And this one should be 3.5 by 3. It's good too. We don't have to trim those. Yay! Okay, now where am I? Now I'm going to do what I did over here, which is I'm just going to do my columns and then do a crossed. You may do a crossed, like this one and this one together on all 3 rows, and then put them together, and that's fine too. It works. So I'm going to take these, and there's a lot of threads bugging me this morning. Make sure I'm sewing on the correct side. I'm just lining those up. Using my 1/4 inch foot and seam tape, and saying a little prayer because it never hurts. Holding my threads with this finger back here. And if my machine gives me fits, it is all my fault. If you haven't cleaned your machine and changed your needle after doing several blocks, you should. I'm going to, let's see. I have these seams going down, these seams going up, so these seams will go up also. Put that one on top and just press it back. Oh, who's the next one? Excellent enabler. Oh, Mom and Pop, Laura Lynn. And then we'll take these two and sew them to this one. Again, matching up. And you can pin, you can clip, you can do anything your little heart desires, or your big heart. I just find that it's faster for me during lives to not pin. It is more accurate for me not during lives to pin in most cases. And I am wanting these to go up, so the direction I want that seam. If this was the dark piece, I put the dark on the top and I press back to it. And I'm going to press them with the iron because I don't think I starched these. They finger press better when you start out with starched. So I'm trying to starch all my fabric as it comes in now. Just because it finger presses better and it works better for FPP. This one. Those down, I'm going to look at my picture, make sure I've got them all back where they're supposed to be. Looks right to me. That pretty. That would be pretty in a polka dot too, because in my monitor, this looks like a polka dot to me. Those are stars. And now we're going to use pins. I'm going to have to put that back down because I've already lost concentration. And because we press these one up and one down, they will nest right here, which gets these lines lined up really well. And I'll be watching. Pins are not my friend. I will be watching this corner over here because that's where the tip, let's see if I can show you that. The tip of this one right here, I want my pin to go through that. So actually, I'm going to do it this way so I can see my tip there. See if I got it. Of course I didn't. Wait. Yeah, I did. Okay. And I pin right in the seam like that. Now, when you put those together, since you pressed one way and one the other way, they're going to smush together to create a flat front and back-ish. You can feel it with your fingers after a while. They really are, Deborah. You can feel it with your fingers after a while. But that took me a while. That was not something. And this one, since one seems pushed to the left and one seems pushed to the right, will snug right up against each other and lock, smooch, whatever you want to call it. I can feel that, and I have a tip that I want to. Do I have it? No, this one doesn't have a tip that I want to keep, so I don't care. Just pin that one. Okay, I'm double checking to make sure there's not a tip that I need to be watching over here. And since I do need to keep an eye on this tip to make sure my needle stays just to the right of that. Why does that not look even? Give me a second. This doesn't look even. I'm not sure why. I'm going to repin it. A little bit off. That's okay. We're trimming the outside off. I'm not going to worry about it. So watching that point right there, and then we'll go over here. I'd say my cutting or my seam is a little bit off, and I say that all the time because I'm not going to blame the pattern. It worked earlier for me. All right, get this side sewn. Questioning what I did wrong. That's why I prefer clips. Oh, Deborah. Deborah said, I call pins little bloodsuckers. I know. machine does not like intersections. Actually, a little bit far away on that one. That's okay. Before I press it, that's even, and this is not. Stop overthinking. Set these on it, and the tip over here I need to keep. And then nest our seams. Oh, by the way, I just remembered. You'll all be very excited to think about this idea with me. After watching bag makers this last week, I found out three things. Bag makers get to play with lighters, they get hammers, and there was something else. What else was it that bag makers get that is going to scare people half to death when I do it? You have to be real careful on this tip. It's not, my 1/4 inch was not as good as I would have liked. So I'm putting my pen right in, it's hard to see on this fabric, right where these fabrics meet right there is where I'm going to put my pen. Looks like I did a little short of a 1/4 inch. Get those nested plain right. That darn coat almost wrecked my wrist. Deborah says, oh goodness. And then, yeah, I want to see the sides, so I want to keep an eye on this corner, which I may or may not lose anyway. And that's okay. If it's horribly bad, I will take it out. If it's just a little bit, I'm fine with it. I can't see my pen though. Seeing wants to flip. Okay, here it is. Yet. But I was like, oh, bag makers play with lighters all the time. All the time. And they hammer stuff. I don't know if I can even hammer that often, but I am thinking that rivets and stuff like that is a cool idea. And sorry, I don't want a bag making channel. I want a quilting channel, but that's what I'm going to be doing, and it's kind of about what I'm going to be doing too. So that's what you get. Let's see how we did. Focus. Okay. That's how we did. And it works for me. I'm going to press it, then measure it, and trim it down because I'm sure it needs to be trimmed. Yeah, it looks awful bad when it's not starched. Starched it would lay flatter. Now I know what happened. I covered it. That is Stay Flow in that bottle. Beautiful black, pretty. Thank you, ladies. See what size this is. It should be, I think it's 9 right now. So when I trim it up, there should be room for trimming. Trying to just go the direction that I had all these seams going in the first place, which makes it fiddly to press, but several are. Spinning seams here and there would probably be a good idea, but that's not today. Not today. I did have one of my quilts, my infinity quilt, last week let me know what I was supposed to do with it and who it was supposed to go to. And if you go side or to the corners, it helps your block stay square. Go from the inside out. is the idea. Let's see what this thing is. Look at that. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you all for the compliments. Let's see what size is this. It should be 9. And it is. It is 9. So what I want to do is I want to take a 1/4 inch off the sides. And how I'm going to do that is going to be a pain. I knew that when I made it. I'm going to do, let's see, 1/4 inch from my, so that's 8.5. This is supposed to be 8.5 unfinished. My brain struggles with this sometimes. And I have a little over 1/4 inch on the outside. So lining the square up here. I may take off more from one side than I do the other side. Did a video of that pretty quick. Got my diagonal line going through here. This side shows right at it. 8.5. I can't believe nobody said anything about the fire playing with. Deborah says car quilt will be done today, I hope. Want to get back to the minions. Good job. I have got number 3 of Coriander Quilt's block of the month cut and ready to put together. All I have to do is sew it. Everything is pinned together. And over here, I'm going to look for my 8.5 inches on both sides, which should have this line down the center, and it does. Yeah, I took off one side than I did the other. I'm not going to, it's a sampler quilt. Didn't hurt my feelings. It will look like a sampler quilt. I'd say I've got an 1/8 more over here than over here. So if you want to be more particular about yours, that's okay. If you don't, that's okay. But this back, whoops, let's tilt up. That is the 8.5 inch block, and I need to put another strip around it to put it in the quilt setting, was what I call the quilt setting for this particular block, which I don't have anywhere behind me at the moment. So I really like this one. Oh, Angel says love it. Sherry says pretty. Deborah says gorgeous. Melissa says pretty. You and me FP says beautiful block. Thank you all. Thank you, lurkers. I know you're thinking happy thoughts. Okay, let me get this up. But see, can you see those? You can. This one right here is block number 1 from Coriander Quilt's block of the month. This one over here is block number 2. Those are mostly, I say mostly because that corner up there is from a different collection, but these are mostly Callie & Co fabrics from her, not her newest line, her last line, which is what she is using with her quilt along. If you haven't checked her out, there's links, I'm sure, on my community page. If you put in Coriander Quilts in the YouTube search thingy, it will come up there too. But that is going to be a table topper that may be put on hold for final assembly because I have gone down the bag rabbit hole. And that's taking over my living room. Underneath this quilt right here told me how I'm going to quilt it now. It's going to be minimal, and I know who it's going to. With all the good vibes that I had making it. That's the original design by me. Where was I going? Underneath this, I think I said at the beginning, I have cowhide faux leather. I have the brown faux leather, the black faux leather. I have leopard. I have checkered, several different ones, and I have more cow cotton fabric. It's all hanging up on that bar. I love this thing. I may not have the prettiest background, but it's efficient. Thank you all. I don't have Corey in there. Oh, I am ashamed of myself. Give me just a second. I'm going to get a Coriander Quilts for you because that's what we do. And I thought I was on it. But the patterns in themselves are on her blog. You have to go to her blog. Not that one. That one. You have to go to her blog, but she has links. She is very good at under there. There we go. And I will have to add her to my bot. I haven't done anything with my bot in a while. Adding or taking away. Thank you, Melissa, for that. Whoops. I'm going to put Corey Yoder in front of this so you know what the link goes to. That quarter shop did have some of her fabrics still. And I'm sure other places do. My local quilt company, quilt shop, never got back to me on whether they carry or not, or whether they intend to. So there we go. There is Miss Corey's. I am really enjoying this line. It just set something off in my brain that allowed me to work with all those colors. I think it's because she's already picked the colors, so I'm just going with her colors, but it's helping me build my color muscles. Does that make sense? You know how you build your decluttering muscles? This is what I'm thinking because I'm always decluttering. I should declutter something. Actually, I should finish my vanity, putting stuff around it so I can move on from that project and finish the doors in the kitchen. Okay, anyway, you know, it's not natural to me to think of these colors, bright colors. I'm a boring beige. I am boring beige. So it's really hard for me to put those colors together. But because like her and, you know, other designers, they have a color palette. And if you use their color palette, they will all go together. But for some reason, I just didn't have one speaking to me. And my next one is going to be Lori Holtz. Because for some reason, after this one spoke to me, her lines are making sense to me now. I mean, they made, you know what I mean? I'm newer, so, and I've never been great with colors. I've always said, unless it's in a set, I'm going to mess it up trying to put it together. So, oh, Deborah bought a wallet pattern this last weekend. Yay! I need to get a wallet pattern. I don't think I need a pattern. Melissa has the videos on the necessary clutch wallet. And I've got those saved in that playlist that has Mama Pop's bags, plus a couple other content creators that I've found. And thank goodness I've got friends that make bags. I've heard them and I've watched some of the creators they watch, but I just wasn't into bag making. So it wasn't high priority to watch for me. Although, you know, great to watch. Who is she? Lauren Marmino, is that her name? Mormino is her website, I think. She's great. I had to go way back to find some of her really dumbed down ones for me, where she's explaining things a little bit better. And I'm thinking about that. For that vinyl, the vinyl heat stuff, I may need a heat press, small one. Doesn't have to be big, but I'm thinking that would be great over some flannels that I have. Putting the heat, that heat vinyl stuff. And why did I not put the 2 and 2 together when Angel was talking about that earlier? I'm a bit of a slow bus today, but we're going to wrap it up because my time is up. My time is past. Lauren Mormino. Mormino was what I was thinking. And I was like, I know that's her last name. Lauren Mormino. I need to put her in the bot too because she is awesome to watch. Tori. I don't know her site. In fact, I found out my mistake twice and I can't get back to it. She actually made me because if you mention a channel that I watch and that I like, you know, I'm happy to share channels. There's dust trying to get to me. I wasn't seeing weird things. There was actual dust. Our vents are in the ceiling. That happens. I don't know. Melissa, have you watched Jeannie's Designs with a lady named Barbara? I really like her. And there's another lady, I can't remember her name right now. But for some reason, her style of showing things is really working for my head. And Lauren, I watch her new stuff because she has such pretty stuff. Oh, Angel says, thank you for sharing, Colleen. Happy quilting, everyone. Have a great day, all. Melissa says, don't forget to check out my moderators, please. They donate their time, and I take a whole lot of it. I appreciate them, and I want to share. And, you know, me, Melissa, and Sylvia have a block of the month that we do on the 8th of every month. You can find a playlist on, I think, all of our channels. Pretty sure. I know you can find it on my channel. Yeah, it's on all our channels, where we're doing the block of the month. If you want to find another block of the month or just get some free patterns, mine are free patterns. So, yes, love Tori. Deborah says, seems legit. See, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say seems legit. Just wasn't sure. Great, great, beautiful bags. I may have a problem with bags now. Doggone it. But I think I succeeded in making a very pretty rainbow. So now I can move on to learning bags. I like learning something new. My brain really likes the workout. It needs less of it. It doesn't realize it. But anyway, everybody have a good day. Have a good week. Check out my playlist. Check out the community tab. Don't forget other people's community tabs too. Check out all of our friends, you know, the family over here in the chat. I know what the chat box is. My big tidy up Halo, Deb, Hug Mama. Just check everybody out. Maybe they're your style, maybe they're not your style. That's okay. And if you're so inclined, give them a subscription, comment, thumbs up. Speaking of thumbs up, shameless plug, thumbs up this video if you like it. I really don't think I need to tell people that, but you know, YouTube likes it when I do. Be the light you hope to see in others. Oh, don't miss Mom and Pop. Later day, Cross Stitch Tuesday. Oh, I almost forgot.